Hello, hello. We are live. Hello, hello, hello,
Hi.
everyone. My name is Davon Reeves. I am the CEO and founder of Vesterr, and I have a special guest with me. We have Dr. V. She is the founder of the new LaVilla, and she's also going to be a future funder on Vesterr. So for our investor talks, we typically talk about ways and how you can get involved in commercial real estate investing. Well, today we're going to have a funder talk. We are going to meet with our funder, Dr. V, and she's going to tell us, who she is. So, Dr. V, please introduce yourself to the world and let us know who you are.
Thank you so much, Devon. I am so excited to be here. I was thinking earlier today, I've been feeling kind of extra all week since Monday. So I'm just in a great mood and excited to be here to talk about the new LaVille and our project here in Jacksonville, Florida. So I am Valecia. That's the long form, the mouthful, Valecia Dunbar. I go by Dr. V. I live here in Jacksonville, Florida. Been here now for 8 years. I am a business advisor and consultant. I work with women entrepreneurs. I'm very passionate about creating economic equity through entrepreneurship, and most of my work is helping women to launch and grow their and scale their businesses. So I've been working in that since COVID-19 very heavily. To help women to pivot, but also to help other underrepresented businesses to pivot and grow their businesses. My company is the Center for Confidence, so it is a organizational leadership and coaching firm. And just before COVID hit, I opened a co-working space to help women entrepreneurs and their allies to have a space where they can be collaborative and network, and form partnerships to help their businesses to thrive. And then COVID hit, and that facility, which was my first commercial property, very quickly closed after COVID. And so we then decided that we wanted to start this new project that came up here and as an opportunity in Jacksonville, which is the new La Villa, a downtown major, destination for entrepreneurs and collaborative people to, start to invest in, owning co-ownership in these collaborative spaces. So really excited about that. Any questions you all have for me? I'm a military spouse, been married to my husband now for 15 years, born and raised in Florida, and yeah, just excited to have this opportunity to talk to everyone and introduce myself.
And I have a question for you, and I'm sure folks will want to know, how did you get started in commercial real estate?
Yeah, so I started in residential real estate, and I felt, quite frankly, that when I started working with entrepreneurs, that I could do more and that I should be the example of how that should look. So pivoted from, purchasing, homes and investing in residential properties, decided that my first building would be this collaborative space that, I could help other businesses to, have an opportunity to have a brick and mortar office space that they could share. So my first offering was, the co-working space just before COVID hit, 2018, I think it was, 4,000 square foot building that was also a commercial, part of a residential high rise. So it was a perfect opportunity, I thought, to start to test the waters of what commercial investment could look like. It was actually the headquarters, the Obama headquarters back in, when did he run? 2012 or something like that. So
Yeah,
I was excited to
2008. Yeah, 2008. Yeah.
have that history attached to it as well.
Oh, amazing, amazing. So you mentioned how you have the Center for Confidence. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, the Center for Confidence, I founded in 2016. So my husband, was married to the military for the first 5 years of our marriage, and we were based in Washington, D.C., one of my favorite places, at Andrews Air Force Base. And within those first 5 years, we moved at least 6 or 7 times. We were overseas in England, lived there for 3 years, then came back, lived in San Antonio for a couple of years, and including, living in DC before that. And one thing that I wanted to do was to start helping people to live their dreams. I was really passionate about helping people to find their true kind of mission and purpose in life. And that may have come from working in the nonprofit sector before as a fundraiser, grant writer, proposal writer before, and would see people trying to live these mission-driven lives, and I really wanted to be a part of that. So the Center for Confidence, I was very intentional about putting confidence in the name of the business, because one of the biggest challenges I saw was people just didn't have belief, self-belief, and wouldn't take risk and take a bet on themselves. As Beyonce would say, if you're going to bet on anybody, bet on yourself. So
Right.
I wanted people to start to take a chance on owning their own businesses, creating wealth for themselves, but starting at the root cause, starting at the inner mindset, and starting with what they're passionate about and helping them to figure that out and being true to who they really want it to be. So that's how the Center for Confidence came about. When my husband retired in 2015, I launched the company in 2016 and have been, moving forward quickly ever since. I'm now a business advisor with the Goldman Sachs 1 Million Black Women program. Work for the Minority Business Development Agency, helping companies to, again, pivot after COVID, and then working with CDFIs, commercial community development financial institutions, who work with entrepreneurs at the national level, providing technical assistance. So I'm in a great place. I found what I really love to do, working with entrepreneurs and building wealth. So I'm excited.
I see that. Now, you mentioned that you are a business advisor. So, what type of businesses do you advise on?
So business advising is I advise businesses of all types. So there's no one, particular type of enterprise, except that they're all at the early stage of growth. So most of them are typically, they've been in business for about 5 years on average. Some have been in business longer, but they're in a position where they're stuck and they're not growing. So we need to help them to figure that out. So I work with businesses of all types, from um, service, professional services, consultants, all the way to mom and pop storefronts, to graphic designers, to interior designers, to people who want to bring their products to market. Had a great opportunity recently working with a young woman who is a baker, and she, bringing her holistic food products into our higher education food service, pipeline. So any type of business that is looking to help to clarify who their audiences are, what their market is, what type of services are the ones that are really going to sell and position them for growth, are the businesses that I work in. They just have to have the passion and the heart around it.
Now, you talked about as far as CDFIs. Could you explain what that is?
Community development financial institutions. And I'm here because I've had such a challenge with community development financial institutions. So they're part of the Clinton administration's initiative to help to create economic growth in underserved, underrepresented communities through lending. So primarily they focus on lending. Community development financial institutions is in the name. And when banks were not lending to underrepresented groups, the community CDFIs were supposed to be the agencies who would step in and with a different type or broader type or more creative type of underwriting structure to help those businesses to get the financing they need. And they've done an excellent, a wonderful job of investing in these communities. But for me, it hasn't been enough. And that's the biggest peeve. And so I've been fortunate where they're now seeing, I helped them to launch the first pilot the financial opportunity centers have been their flagship programs, but I helped them to launch here in Jacksonville their first center for entrepreneurial opportunity, where they were targeting
Got it.
entrepreneurs as opposed to individuals and nonprofit organizations. They were actually looking at for-profit entities who were starting businesses. So once that took off, I've had this partnership with them for the past 6 years, helping to create instead of financial coaching education platforms, but entrepreneurial revenue coaching platforms. So it's two totally different types of financial coaching that's needed. And so this entrepreneurial coaching aspect is what I'm helping them to understand, that when you're talking about revenue generation for a business, it's completely different from financially coaching a person about how to get income for their home and how to manage debt. It's two different things.
So it sounds like with all of your experience and all your passions, it brought you to the new LaVilla. Now, can you talk just a little briefly about the new LaVilla? I don't want you to go too much into detail because I know you're gonna have a full pitch later on. But can you talk just a little bit about the New LaVilla,
Yes,
the
so
history about it? Because I mean, I love learning something new, and so I've learned something new about the Jacksonville area because of you and what you're doing, and it makes sense with all of your combined experience and your combined passion. So I would love to hear more, just a little bit about that.
yes, I can't wait for you to come and take the tour
Sure. Yeah.
into our historical areas here at downtown. So, the New La Villa, I named the company specifically the New La Villa because this was one of our historic Black communities. At the point that it was thriving, there were 500 businesses concentrated in this northern corridor of downtown Jacksonville. And the main street was Broad Street and Ashley Street. And in the 90s, with the crisis with it wasn't cocaine, I can't remember the drug epidemic, they decided that they would divest in this neighborhood. People were leaving because crime was high, and they tore down a lot of the historical buildings in that area. There exists one continuous strip. And so the new La Villa for me was investing in one of the buildings that was still standing in that one strip. And I named it the company, the new La Villa, purchased that building in 2021 and saw this as an opportunity to start to one building at a time to bring La Villa back to its heyday. And so there's a tremendous amount of African American history there. A lot of, you and I were talking about how we love history. At one point, there were hotels there that were part of the Green Book that were women-owned hotels. And this was one of the former hotels, that was there before segregation, where Black boarders would stay. So a lot of history, a lot of opportunity to bring this community back, and I'm just excited to start to do that one building at a time.
I'm excited, and I'm excited
Yeah.
that it's coming to Vesterr. Now, for folks who are looking to connect with you to hear more about your project, how can people find you?
So currently, I am on LinkedIn at /n/ Dr. Dunbar, DRDUNBAR. So you can absolutely find me there. And I've started a Facebook page to start to collect some of the history and information
Yeah.
about La Villa. And that is on Facebook at the new La Villa Merchants Museum, because because I'm an entrepreneur and because I love entrepreneurs, I want to first start focusing on all of those businesses that were located there and the wealth that was concentrated there in that area. So I'm looking for, when we build out the building, to put
Yeah.
a lot of information and artifacts in there that have to
Yeah.
do with the history of the Black-owned businesses there. I mean, there was the Black Man's Railroad that came through, the Pullman
Oh, wow.
Porters.
Oh, wow.
The Masonic Lodge is right across the street. So just a beautiful place, um, to that's rich in history, but also with a legacy that needs to be, and a story that needs to be told and brought back. And so there's a lot of stuff happening in the new La Villa that we're going to wrap around that.
Oh, wow. I'm excited. I'm excited to learn more about it, and I'm excited that Vesta will be a part of it as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, for one, thank you, Dr. V, for being on our Thunder Talk. Thank you for those who are listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time. And be sure to check us out on Vesterr.com. If you're not on our mailing list, please do sign up at Vesterr.com, Vesterr.com, so that way you will be the first to know when Dr. V's exciting projects get on the site. So thank you all so much, and you have a wonderful day. As you
Thank
can
you.
see,
Thank you for this opportunity.
I'm having a sunny day. So I hope that wherever you are, that you are having a sunny day as well.
Have a wonderful sunny day. Thank you, Divine. Talk to you soon.